Body pounced, yeah. Or I remember because when there was the talk, it was in the talks of the Labyrinth remake. Nobody jumped on the on the idea that I said, which is that I think Jamie Campbell Bower is the only person who could actually play Gareth. He's the only person. I saw somebody did say that the guy who played Spider and everything now could also play Jareth because he looks like David Bowie. So, yeah, like of course, of course. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like about with Spider, I do agree because he's blonde, but I'm saying like yeah, he could be the guy though. He could be the guy. Um, I can't find his name though, but I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll find a picture though. I'll find one. And I'll just put it in, but just hold on. So, what was it? Yeah, if you haven't guessed already, I'll be talking about Shadowhunters, film versus show. But I'm talking about just Shadowhunters in general. I didn't hate the series. Okay, the series gave us what the movie didn't. Right? We needed more of the movie. Do you remember like when you first watched the Shadowhunters movie and the movie's only like, oh, I think, is a movie long? The movie's not that long, but it ends so abruptly. It's so weird. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? And then you might be thinking that's very long for a film, but still, we as a nation, we as a society, we all were like, no, I don't like how that ended. It was generally a universal thing. We all said that. We didn't like how it ended, and I didn't. I certainly didn't. But Jace. Well, Jamie Campbell Bower, he's great as Jace. Where's a picture? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at a picture of Jace. But yes, he looks so great in it. He looks so great. And so does Thingy. What's her name again? It's Lily, right? I said, what's your name? It's Lily. Your name's gotta be Lily. I know that it's Lily. There we go. Yes, Lily Collins. Because obviously, that's funny. I was talking about Lily in obviously one of the previous episodes already, which was I was talking about Lily in Mirror Mirror, right? She's a great actress. She has a very distinct, like, she's just a very pretty actress, basically. Just to sum it up. And then it's like Mirror Mirror, Love Rosie, and Clary. Like she did it all. She did it all. And I don't know, like obviously her version of Clary, she's got like brownish brownish auburny red hair. Like what could we say? What color is her hair in this? Yes, like it's kind of browny auburny, and then obviously in the show you have what's that actress called again? Yeah, you have I'm checking for her name, don't worry. Yes, Catherine McNair. She has ginger hair, okay? And I think to myself, she looks better with ginger. Like, it's funny. Of course, I want to think to myself, which way around did I watch? Obviously, I actually know I would have watched the movie first. But why do I feel like, even though I watched the movie first before the series, why do I feel like the show obviously is just more memorable to me? Like, I think Shadowhunters and I think of the show. Is that offensive? But I'm like, guys, don't take that the wrong way. It's just, I do. And then I guess with Shadowhunters, yeah, it had 3 seasons, whereas the Shadowhunters movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And then it's like, you have a more longer span. And then there were so many great actors or so many good performances in this series, right? So many good so many good people, you know, like Clary and also Jace and also Alec. Gosh. Matthew Daddario, he was great as Alec. And who even plays Alec? Who even plays Alec in the movie again? I just need to check. Yeah, Kevin Zegers. I don't know if I really messed with him all that crazy. Do you know what I mean? As Alec. Is he Alec? You know, obviously, what you need to think about is we need to go to the book, don't we? We need to talk about the book. It's only fair. It's only right. Because I feel like, of course. Yeah, so we need to go to the book because that's just right. So, right? Good. So, guys, it says here on Google, yes, in the Shadowhunters book series, Clary Fray is described as having red hair and bright blue eyes. And that here's a more detailed look at Clary's appearance. Red hair. Clary's red hair is a defining feature, often described as ginger or firebrand red. I guess you could say that Lily's hair is red in that movie as well, but I don't know. I feel like her hair looks more brown, though. Her hair looks more brown. Why am I thinking her hair looks brown? I just don't feel like it looks ginger. It's like, yeah, that it looks red or like as bright as it should. And then also, the covers of the book all clearly show Clary as she's described in the books, feisty, little, and ginger-haired. Right. It's specifically here, it says ginger hair, then they're saying that's what she looks like on the covers. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the series, I feel like, obviously ticks the box with that, right? With her hair being so ginger and striking and red. Yeah. So, but anyways, I feel like I should talk about the show though, because maybe I should do, I always, you know what I mean, when I'm talking about stuff, I should do an introduction, because I would need to say to people what Shadowhunters is about if you don't know, but I would assume that you do. Like, that's what I mean, I always do this, I'm like, I would assume that you do know if you don't, because sometimes I think to myself, I cover quite, like, popular stuff that people know, right? And Shadowhunters is one of those that is popular. I mean, when did the Shadowhunter series come out? It feels like so long. Yeah, since I watched it for the first time. 2016? God, I was just a babby. Joking. I'm kidding. But no, it feels like so long ago. And I always wanted one of their things. You know, their tattoos, their runes? I wanted one. So sick. Why would I want a rune? But I wanted it. But anyways, let me see. So, here we go. Clary, a teenager, learns about her unique lineage and seeks help from other Shadowhunters to find her missing mother, who has been kidnapped by a group called the Circle. Gosh. And you know, with Shadowhunters, it's like her mum could have just told her, yeah, from just before, just from early on, like, it would have been so much easier, but she didn't. Instead, she lied to her. Just like, what? Why are you lying? There's no need to lie. Just be honest. But I love how, like, I think also Shadowhunters is great as well, because it does have loads of different supernatural elements. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. When a show that's supernatural has layers. We're not just talking about Clary, who's like, I don't even know what Clary's supposed to be. Is she a witch? I don't even know what you do. she's just supposed to be a fighter or whatever. I don't even know what she does. Or, hold on a second. I want to fact check that though. Yeah, what is Clary's power? Yeah, what is Clary's special power? Right. Her special power, stemming from her father's experiments with Angel Blood, is the ability to create new runes, ones not found in the Grey Book, and to access visions and insights from the Angel Ethereal. Right. Okay. That is probably okay. Fine. I was like, oh, what's so special about Clary? But no. Yes, she is supposed to have some like foresight, whatever. She's supposed to be like special, but I was trying to say, guys, I'm talking about all the other elements that are in the show, which is where you have like warlocks and vampires and werewolves and what is it? The Fae? Yeah, they've got the elves and the wizardry people. You know, it reminds me of the book I'm reading actually. I probably started Shadowhunters because of that. I think I've always been a supernatural girl. I love reading supernatural stuff. I'm even writing a supernatural story because supernatural stuff is great. But I think you get swooped in, like, you know, with shows like Twilight, Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf. The list goes on, like, the list goes on. It's super long. But yeah, I'm saying, like, you get swooped in on that supernatural element. And then, obviously, them having other layers of different creatures in there. And then, sorry, the book that I was talking about, right? This book was called Becoming Alpha by Aileen Erin, which was obviously, yeah, it's mainly Becoming Alpha basically is about wolves, but I meant like when you read the first book, it's mainly about wolves. But then as the story goes on, like I'm actually nearing finishing that series. When the book goes on, like what's it called? Yeah, when the book goes on, you're taken through all different like kind of creatures. So you have a story which is about Meredith, which is Tessa's friend. Then you also have one about Tessa's cousin, who's a witch. And then you have and then you also have Claudia and, I mean, not Claudia, sorry. No, there's somebody else. Cosette. Sorry, Cosette and Chris. And then Cosette is supposed to be, she's supposed to be a fae, actually. So she's, like, also a witch, but it's just different. You know, that's why I'm like, you think to yourself, what's the difference between fae and witch? But they actually are very different. They're not the same at all. Even, let's see, what is the difference between fae? No, I wanted to know fae and... Okay, so I mean, fae often refers to supernatural beings like fairies, while witch usually denotes a human who practices magic or witchcraft, though there can be overlap and variations in specific contexts, which is true. I mean, I guess because of Bonnie Bennett, she's a witch, and then, I don't know, I don't think they have fairies in Vampire Diaries. Am I wrong? No, I don't think they do. But I guess they do have fairies in the book, Becoming Alpha. So that's why it's fae versus witch. And it's not, and this, we so don't get the two muddled up because they're not the same. And then they also obviously in Shadowhunters, they have vampires. And so they literally just have everybody. But, gosh, the show just takes you on a turn. And I'm just like, versus, so if we say Jace Wayland versus, versus Jamie's Jace and, what's the guy's name again? Yeah, and Dominic Sherwood. So Dominic Sherwood's Jace and Jamie Campbell's Jace. I feel like with Dominic's, I mean, they're both Jace, do you know what I mean? And they both look like Jace, do you know what I mean? That's why I think with adaptations, we're like, they both look like Jace. We're just saying which one has more aura, which one has more Riz. It's probably Jamie. It's probably Jamie, even though I swear that what's it called? Dominic Sherwood. Yes, he has that condition. You know, the one he's got that eye thing. Because I know that David Bowie had that too. But it's called like what's it called? It's something starting with H. I'll be there in a moment. Yes, heterochromia. So yeah, so you have two different eye colors. So one of his eyes is blue while the other is half blue and brown. So yeah, and it's different. So it's interesting. So heterochromia is a condition where a person's irises are different colors or partially different colors. And complete heterochromia, each iris is a different color. And then segmental heterochromia, a patch of a different color appears in one iris. And he has cetrocorial. So that means it's kind of like, yeah, because that means he has two different colored eyes. So I think that's probably what the difference is with his one. A blue one and a half brown one. But even, let me hold on a second. Now that we're on the subject of even his eyes, I want to check something about like David Bowie's one. I think, sorry. Or actually, sorry. Okay, I just checked. So David Bowie actually doesn't have the right one that I said, because obviously David Bowie has, yeah, they're not the same. Of course, are they the same? No, it's just when you search. I thought it was heterochromia, but it's not. He doesn't have that, because the condition of having two different colored eyes is called heterochromia. This is what many believe this rock star to have. This was not the case, as he in fact had an eye condition called ansecoria. I'm now doing like, you guys probably like, now I'm going on a whole on like eye conditions, but I just need to know what it is, and I think you guys would obviously also want to know. So ansecoria refers to a condition where the pupils of the eyes are of unequal size, which can be a normal variation in some people or a sign of an underlying medical issue. And so just to summarize, obviously it means unequal pupil. But I thought he did have two different eye colors, even though they're saying that, or when you look at the pictures, yeah, it's just one is more dilated than the other, and obviously one is just, yeah, and then the pupils, one pupil is, yeah, more dilated, more wider, and then the other pupil is smaller. But so they don't have the same condition, actually. They don't have the same condition, but I don't know. I thought David Bowie's one was that he had two different eye colors, but I've obviously realized that his eye colors are not different. They're actually the same. Yeah, he never had two different eye colors. So that means, yeah. So just to actually wrap that up, just so now that we can clarify, David Bowie didn't have heterochromia. He had, ansecoria, which what's it called? Yeah, ansecoria, which is obviously what we just clarified. But let's go back to Shadowhunters, okay? Obviously, I got sidetracked, started talking about eyes, but it's just I feel like yeah, Dominic Sherwood's Jace. That's what I probably liked about his eye condition, like made him as Jace very like, what's it called? Yeah, very mysterious and just, yeah, mysterious, convincing. He was all of those things. And I guess, what are we trying to say? Well, Kenny Bauer didn't have an eye condition. So he was just a long-haired guy with like runes on him. But he was still equally great. I just think, like maybe even to conclude, I just think versus the show versus the movie, it's just to say that the movie, like, was obviously very unsatisfying for a lot of people, like I started out saying, and that the show was able to give us all of that, what we needed. And give us, like, also more answers into Clary and, like, yeah, what her standing is, all the things that she can do, and how, I swear, she ends up being... she's that guy, Knight, what's the guy, the villain in the show? Is he called Knight something? What's the guy called again? The one who is like, the one who kidnaps her mum, and is a part of the group's, circle. I need to check. Yes, Valentine, sorry. And that it comes to be that Valentine's actually her dad, because then they were all in that kind of place together, or in the circle, and basically, really, when we say the circle, we're just like, oh, the circle sounds like a cult, which it's similar to one, I suppose. I mean, it's just them doing runes and spells and all that kind of stuff. But then, obviously, her mum's with Valentine, and then he ends up being her dad. But really, Luke's actually Clary's dad, but let's not move. But I mean, he's not her biological dad, but I just mean he's a father figure to her. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I said he's her dad. But like, we don't want to hear that Valentine's her dad. He's a horrible guy. So let's not even talk about that. One more thing that I should say, because actually I feel like I might wrap it up now. I feel like I am finished. I think I've got everything off my chest. But is that, like, Alec and Jace, they were always bringing on bromance. We should just kiss. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I believe that I'm right. You know what I mean? They'd be having little battles, and it would be like, oh, you guys are being a bit weird. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then that's always what I was saying, because Alec, obviously, yes, Alec was gay, and we know that. And then, because he ends up with Magnus, and that, like, he probably loved Jace at one time, and then that's why he was so pressed and bothered about Clary. Like, when she got there, he just couldn't stand her. And we know why he couldn't stand her, because Jace became enamored with her. He was obsessed with her, and he obviously fell in love with her. So then Alec felt replaced. Do you know what I mean? They want to say, oh, it was brotherly love. We said no. And I swear in the show, Alec admits that. Alec admits to loving Jace. So he admits to loving him, and not even in a friendly way, not even just like, oh, I love you. It's like, no, I love you, like, just like with an emphasis, because it's like he just knew that he couldn't have Jace, because Jace isn't into him like that. So what can we do? We're sorry. We're sorry that you can't be with him, you know? So I don't know. I don't even know if people are like Alec and Jace shippers. I never was. I was never on that ship. You know what I mean? So don't ask me that. I was never in that league. You might have been, but I wasn't. I was always team Jason Clary, because that's just where I was. That's just where I found myself to be. Right? So, yeah. It's where I found myself to be. It's where I came to be. It's funny because I haven't watched Shadowhunters in a very long time. But I don't even know if Alex softened towards her eventually. I feel like maybe he did. I think he did. In the very beginning, he didn't like her, though. That was very obvious. That was very obvious. And obviously no one wouldn't really like Simon either. But they also grew on Simon. And then the series gives us more about Simon that we didn't get in the thing. Like, obviously, yeah, Simon goes on this whole journey, and we don't see Simon do anything in the movie except pester her for being with Jace, or like hanging around with Jace. But the thing is, yeah, you feel sorry for Simon though, because obviously, and this is what I'm saying, like, Alec loved Jace, Simon loved Clary. They both couldn't have them. We said we're sorry. We said we're sorry that you can, but that's just the way it is. And then you have Isabel, who's like, I don't know, she's all over the place. Anyways, I don't even know what she was doing. She was with vampires, she was with fays, she was, I didn't even know, man, she was with everybody. Not even to say it like that, but she really was. She was also so cool though. And I feel like, yeah, she's been cool in like both adaptations in general. But yeah, I'm obsessed with Shadowhunters. I feel like Shadowhunters was like a show for me that I became really obsessed with when it came out. And yeah, I would say I'm still obsessed with it. It was like when I also watched Deadly Class. I was supposed to do an episode about Deadly Class, which I still might, so that's why I won't say too much about it now. I'm also wrapping up right now as well. But I was going to do an episode about Deadly Class, because that's another show, and it feels like Deadly Class is similar to Shadowhunters in a similar way, just because I guess they're both supernatural, of course. Yeah, they're both supernatural. Like, I obviously just touch on Deadly Class really quickly, but obviously I don't want to say too much, because, you know, if I talk about it a lot right now, you know what I mean, the episode will be pointless. So Deadly Class, yes, that came out 2019, and see, 94% was its reviews. Everybody loved it. Everyone loved it, and I was so sad when it got cancelled, because it was so good. Because obviously Marcus, a decision teen, is recruited into a storied high school for assassins. He is forced to maintain his moral code while navigating a ruthless curriculum of vicious social cliques. Yeah, it's about assassins. So sit with that one. It's a good place to end off, because I just recommended you guys another show. I spoke about Shadowhunters. I told you how really the Shadowhunter series is superior. But then, of course, the movie is the root. But the series just, you know, touched on that, evolved it, made it grow bigger into a tree. And that you should also check out Deadly Class, because obviously Deadly Class is similar to it, and yeah, it's a pretty good time. Anyways, thanks for listening, and see you in the next one.